Locus here, and here's my take on this amazing figure from Hasbro. We do have here a Star Wars Rogue One Imperial Stormtrooper 3.75-inch scale action figure. So as you can see here, the packaging is really great. It has like a nostalgic feel to me. Kind of brings me back way back decades ago, you know, on how they used to package action figures back then. It has a Kenner logo on it, and at the back there are some details. So this is from the vintage collection. As you can see here, there's a Disney and Hasbro logo right there. And the action figure that comes with this wave, as you can see here. Yeah, so this is by far the most accurate looking Stormtrooper that I've seen so far. So they took out the helmet, pretty much they took out the helmet that came with the 3.75 scale Rogue One action figure. I don't know if you've seen it in your toy stores, but it's a very it has a very limited articulation, but the helmet is accurate, as accurate as this. So it's pretty much exactly the same helmet that they used, but they used like the Black Series style of articulation here on the body. So it's pretty much a combination of both. That's why we have this now. So I'm glad that they did it. And let's go ahead and open the figure. So for the articulation of this action figure, the head has an average range of motion, as you can see here. So it can tilt sideways, it can look upward a little bit, but it doesn't look downward. Not a bummer for me, but probably to some it may be. So yeah, average range of motion right there. The arms can go as far as that. So it has a hinge right there. You can swivel it. Alright. Now it doesn't have a bicep swivel, but it has a hinge right there, plug in here on the bicep right there. So it has a single hinge, but since it has a peg plug in there as well, so it kind of helps you, or it kind of compensates due to the lack of bicep swivel. So it's a nice thing. Alright, there you go. And what's surprisingly about this figure is that it doesn't just have a swivel right there that allows you to twist the hands right there, but it also comes with a hinge right there. I'm not sure if you can see it, but let me show you what I'm talking about. Here you go. So surprisingly, this is by far the first time that I've seen a Stormtrooper that can do this. Probably I don't have it all, but I have the Black Series same scale Stormtroopers, but I don't recall that they have this kind of feature, and it's a very nice detail, you know. But on the other arm, or on the other hand, for this one, it doesn't go like the way this used to. This go you can move it downward. Yeah, right, downward or upward. So it would add more range of motion or dynamic posing when you're trying to pose this figure while wielding the weapon that it comes with. Which, anyhow, it's pretty much the same if you own any 3.75-inch Stormtrooper from the Black Series line. It's pretty much the same, but it has yeah, it's still, you know, as rubbery as it is, and there's a nice paint right there, so it's a nice detailing. Yeah. So going back to the figure, so that's a good addition. So it kind of reminds me of the 6-inch one, because the 6-inch one can do those on the wrist. Now for the waist right there, so it can do this. It has a good range of motion there on the upper part of the body, but sadly it doesn't have a waist swivel. But you know, since we have a ball joint right there, or I think it's a ball joint, you know, it somehow compensates to the lack of articulation that we have here. on the that we don't have here in the waist. So as you can see there. So one of the gripes that I've seen is that it doesn't come with a holster. It should come with a holster that so we can plug this thing right in place. But sadly, it doesn't come with one. But right, so let's go with the legs. So for the legs, it's on a hinge plug into a peg right there. You will be able to see that here. Yeah, right there. Hopefully you can see it, guys. It's right there. It's a hinge right there. So it also have a tie swivel. Glad thing that they did this. As you can see here, there's a tie swivel, guys. Awesome. So you can move it upward as high as this. I don't want to force it upwards. I might break my figure, and I don't want to break my figure. But from the feel of it, I think this is by far the the range of motion is until to that range. And then but you can just use the peg right there, to kind of twist it a little so it can do split. I think it can do split, and then move the tie swivel so it can do split, so like that. Just be careful, don't force it if it won't budge, but yeah, you can do it. So you just need to use the peg right there to kind of move it sideways and then flip it and then use the bicep swivel. So there you have it. And then for the knee, it comes with a single joint knees, as you can see here. There you go, single joint, but like the elbow right there, so it's plugging into a peg right on the tie right there, so it can do this. So it has a good range of motion. So yeah, it's great that they have a bicep swivel here. I mean the tie swivel right there, and then it can move this around, so it kind of add more range to the motion of the figure. It's a great addition to the articulation. However, for the feet right here, it doesn't have a tilting, or it doesn't have a pivot joint right there because it's on a hinge. I wish they use a pivot instead of this one, but yeah. So it can just move downward and upward. So yeah, the articulation is really good. The details, the design, I really like it. So it's pretty much a minimized version of the 6-inch Star Wars, with a better looking helmet, or accurate looking helmet, as I say, but it doesn't have a holster. Alright. Doesn't have a holster. Sadly, it doesn't came with one. Some Black Series comes with a peg hole right there, but this doesn't come with one. Let's go ahead and do a comparison so you guys know what I'm talking about here. 0.75-inch scale action figure that I have, plus a Lego and the 6-inch. So we do have here the sum of the 3.75-inch scale action figure that I have, plus a Lego and the 6-inch one, just to give you a comparative review. So let's start off with the figure of course that we are trying to review right now, and the Rogue One figure that they released a couple of years back. So as mentioned, so it's pretty much the same figure, but they throw in some more articulation, and there we have this vintage collection version of it, because from head to toe they are really kind of identical. So the only sucks about this figure is it lacks articulation, so it can only do this. The arms can't even move, or the hands, and then the legs can go upward, downward, but it really looks accurate for me, so yeah, it's a good thing. But yeah, articulation wise, it sucks so bad. There you have it. Excuse me. Sorry for that. So there you have it for the Rogue One. And then we do have here the two Black Series figures. So I'm not sure if which one came with the orange line, because you can tell by the size of their eyes. You know, the design of the helmet, the compound eye is a little bit weird looking. This one is like, you know, so it's small. The other one is big. But, you know, they share the same design of the helmet, which is a little bit pointy, which is, it's not really, I really don't find, you know, good for my collection, because I really aim for something more accurate looking, which, you know, finally we got it after decades of waiting, a decade of waiting maybe, right here. So the only difference is that, like I mentioned earlier, is that how they somehow improve or change the molding of the elbow right here. So it, as you can see, it's a little bit thicker right there, you know, the plastic they use, and this one, it's pretty much more better looking, I guess, as you can see here. And then for the arms, it doesn't really have a swivel, or rather a hinge right there on the hand, so it doesn't move upward or downward, it just, you know, swivels. And it has the same concept for the articulation right there on the legs, but it doesn't have a bicep swivel, I mean a thigh swivel, sorry for that. It doesn't have a thigh swivel. Same range of motion on the knees and on the feet. As you can see, the design of the armor on the feet is quite different also. So let me just show you guys. So this one, so pretty much the way I want to explain it is like this one is wearing a pencil cut jeans, as you can see. So it goes all straight out here until it reaches the shoe or the boots or whatever, or the fit itself. However, for this one, for the Rogue One, as you can see there you go. So I'm not sure, it's not a huge deal. It's not really a huge gripe for me. A change of design doesn't hurt much, except, you know, if you're gonna army build everything, it just looks off if one Stormtrooper looks different than the other. Like one Stormtrooper looks like this, and the rest of the Stormtrooper looks like this, and, you know, I'm a very nitpicky that way. But, you know, it's not, you know, really amount of the amount of action figures you have, or the same type of action figures you have. What's important is you have, you know, that passion as a collector or as a fan of the franchise. That's what matters most. Anyway, so lastly, we do have here the Stormtrooper Legends, or the Star Wars Legends, I guess. I forgot what the storyline was called back then, but it's pretty much the same as the Black Series on the upper part of the body and on the knee downwards, but on this part here, it doesn't share the same articulation as these figures have. Well, as you can see, it doesn't have like a hinge right there plug into a peg, so it's just a peg connected to the groin, so it can go as far as that. It doesn't do, you know, a semi-split, or doesn't spread out like that. And even the figure is having a hard time standing, that I have to use the stand that came with the figure, which as mentioned, since we're talking about it, I wish they added a stand on the vintage collection. I'm not sure about stands, but, you know, I think they should have added that stand here for this figure, or at least a base or whatever, you know. And we have here the the Lego Stormtrooper. Just in case you don't know how how big a 3-inch figure is. So just to give you an idea. And lastly, we do have here, the Stormtrooper 6-inch one. So reason why I like this far more better is because it's really accurate for me. Compared to this one, yeah, it's a Stormtrooper, but the helmet doesn't really, 100% resembles a Stormtrooper for me. The entire body frame, it's a little bit thin for my taste, but I'm glad that I have this in my collection though. So my final take on this figure is that it has a lot to brag about, and there are some that we can gripe about, but overall this release, this figure really nailed it. I've been waiting for years to own an action figure of a Stormtrooper that is far more accurate looking compared to the previous one that they released so far. It comes with a good articulation, or average as I say. It has a lot of stuff that they could have added on, but overall I really like it. So go get yours as early as now. We are just a couple of days away from the Force Friday, Triple Force Friday coming this October. Yeah, so might as well go get yours. There's a lot of toy collectors who will be army building this figure. We are not sure if we will be running out of stocks. Hopefully they added this figure on their shelves on the Triple Force Friday event. And hopefully you do get yours. It's a really worth it figure. If you are a Star Wars fan, if you are a Stormtrooper fan. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for this review. Thanks for checking out my review, and please like, subscribe. You can check me out on Instagram as well. Yeah, so we'll talk to you guys soon.